its long history, the details about how and why it has evolved, or the extent of its global impact. This slim album interweaves the history of this song with the history of the struggle for justice in the United States and demonstrates the power of individuals coming together to make change. The reasons this title rose to the top of our committee are numerous, but we particularly admired the attention Ms. Levy and Ms. Brantley-Newton lent to the age and emotional maturity of the young readers for whom the book was created. This attention begins with the visual styling of the cover, continues with the brilliant pagination, and extends through the timeline that brings the book to a close. This care strengthens the book's connections to the themes and ideals that are championed by the Jane Addams Children's Book Award, solving problems courageously and nonviolently, overcoming prejudice, and approaching life with self-confidence and strength. Ms. Brantley-Newton has illustrated children's books for a growing number of authors. In an interview, she mentions that the most difficult part of illustrating We Shall Overcome was the fact that it made her remember and relive her experiences growing up in the 60s. How fortunate we are that she participated in this project. Her mixed media illustrations and use of collage bring life to this story. Of particular note is the way in which she has aligned her colorful and era-specific illustrations with various verses of the song and with the text, thus enriching the storyline and aiding young readers' comprehension. Ms. Brantley-Newton has expressed her hope that her artwork would leave people feeling happy, and her illustrations in this work have done just that. Our committee's response to her images include descriptors such as joyful, exuberant, and upbeat. Their vibrancy and flow expertly capture the song's spirit and message of hope in a way that is appealing to children. On behalf of the Jane Addams Children's Book Award Committee, I am more than happy, indeed, I am most pleased, delighted, and overjoyed to introduce Ms. Vanessa Brantley-Newton as the illustrator of the 2014 Honor Book for her illustrations in We Shall Overcome.
Hello, everyone. It is indeed a pleasure and an honor to be here with you all. I'm going to try to keep it together and not cry. But I'm a 51-year-old baby, so excuse the tears. This award means so much to me that I got to work with Disney Hyperion, got to work with Debbie Levy. I even got to meet her family, Rick, and even her sons today. And I got to bring my husband with me to celebrate. This book means so much to me, and this honor means so much. I want to thank you all of you who are on the committee who chose this wonderful book. I'd like to thank Lori Nowicki, my agent in the back. I love you so much. But I want to tell you my little story real quick. To God be the glory. As a child, I was inspired by my mentor from afar, Mr. Ezra Jackie's. In the 60s, he was so bold to step out and illustrate a beautiful African-American boy named Peter and the story of a snowy day. And I felt like if I could just make one child feel the way I did when I read that book, I would be doing something fantastic and great. And I will tell you that every day I get to sit at my computer, or I get to play with my paints, and I get to create young people, people that I've known from childhood, people that I just see. As I'm even standing here, I'm taking pictures of your faces so that they end up in my stories. Because my desire is to see every child in a book. Every child needs to see themselves. All of you need to see yourself in a children's book. And so if I'm able to do that, I feel like I've accomplished what I was sent here for. Today I am grateful to the Jane Addams Peace Foundation for this honor award in recognition of my artistic contributions to We Shall Overcome. Again, I'd like to say thank you again to Paint Words because you brought this forth too. And in just one simple song, I would say it like this. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And runny nose and all, in tears. I'm feeling good.
Debbie Levy has not always been a children's author, but she has always been dedicated to storytelling. Her first career was that of a lawyer, her second a journalist, and today she is the author of 20 published books of fiction, nonfiction, and poetry, written for children of all ages. How are each of these careers related? Each requires the use of careful research and selective word choice to tell a truthful, expressive, and compelling story. The committee was impressed with the way in which Ms. Levy combined her love of research and language to create this book. She has selected a tragic and painful aspect of our history to share with children, and she has found a way to introduce it in a truthful yet gentle way. The word choice, sentence structure, use of repetition and opposites create a text that is accessible to young readers. Simple and lyrical, the text allows readers to gain a very good sense of the struggles that different groups of people have faced. On behalf of the Jane Addams Book Committee, it is my great honor to present Debbie Levy with the 2014 Jane Addams Children's Book Honor. Thank you for reminding young readers of where we have been, celebrating how far we have come, and emphasizing the fact that there are people around the globe who need our voices to join with theirs as they continue to fight for a better world.
I want to sing, but really I can't. Well, it's always such a pleasure to spend time with Vanessa when we do book events together, and not loud enough. As I've taken this book into schools and festivals in the 10 months since publication, my presentations have been built around the idea that when people see or experience injustice, they may become so frustrated, so angry that they feel like fighting. But fighting with one's fists or other lethal implements has some definite drawbacks. Fighting with your brain is where it's at. And singing, I show these young readers, is a tool that people have been using as part of fighting with their brains for a long time. So to have this book recognized by the Jane Addams Peace Association with its focus on addressing injustice and conflict peacefully and creatively is particularly gratifying. I wanted to create a book that could reach even the youngest readers and listeners and put them in touch with the humanity and history of an activity that they all know something about, the activity of singing, and then to connect that to something they might know less about, but are perfectly capable of understanding, and that is the tradition and even the necessity of joining together with others to fight for justice and change in peaceful ways. I am grateful that Disney Jump at the Sun published the book. Thank you, my editor's here. And even more grateful that they sought out Vanessa Brantley-Newton to illustrate it. You've already heard about her illustrations, but I don't care. I want to say it too. Her work in this book is so vivid, lively, and interesting, hitting what I think is just the right note for a book seeking to engage the younger crowd. And I love her use of collage in many of the illustrations because this element, the use of collage, emphasizes the theme that this story's song is the product of many people, many voices over many years, layering, coming together to create a song that not one person sat down and wrote, but developed out of many voices. So thank you, Jane Addams Peace Association and the Book Committee, for this award. thank you to the other authors and illustrators here for your beautiful books that are being recognized today. I'm privileged to be in all of your company.